When you first start the movie, there's a warning screen that says what you're about to see is culturally insensitive and maybe sort of archaic and contains gender or race stereotype, like that kind of stuff. They're not taking it down. Here is your warning. If you're a parent and you do not wish your kids to see a gay teen romance, don't take your kids to see Strange World. Your choice, your kids. I'm just giving you the heads up. Disney has said that they have a not at all secret gay agenda. They said this publicly, openly, in giant meetings. You know, we'd always been interested in the possibility of making kids content. I have 3 young kids. A lot of us have young kids around here, and yeah, I'm historically an enormous Disney fan. So we were Disney annual pass members. My 4th date with my wife was at Disneyland. When we moved to Florida, one of our big moves was that we were going to get the annual pass over at Disney World. And so we love Disney. Like, Disney's a big thing in our house. And when it became clear that Disney is starting to promote messages that don't sort of accord with the traditional values worldview, and then when that tape broke via Chris Rufo there was an open forum with some of the leadership of Disney talking about what they called a, quote, not at all secret gay agenda to put a lot of these sorts of messages in kids' programming, and that's not something that I'm interested in my kids seeing, it became clear to us that the best way to fight that is to actually just provide an alternative. Here is your warning. If you're a parent and you do not wish your kids to see a gay teen romance, don't take your kids to see Strange World. Your choice, your kids. I'm just giving you the heads up. Disney has said that they have a not at all secret gay agenda. They said this publicly, openly, in giant meetings. The heads of Disney talked about their trans kid and their non-gender binary kids and how everybody, your kids, need to be educated in the ways of this sort of subjective individualist sexual culture. It's very important that your kids be indoctrinated into this. Well, we already had Lightyear, which was a dramatic fail at the box office, featuring a lesbian couple targeted at 5, 6, 7-year-old kids. And now Strange World, which is targeted at 5, 6, 7-year-old kids, features a gay teen romance. Isn't this exciting stuff? Because this is what America is truly the value that I think stands for all of us, is gay teen romance for small children. Where was the broad parental demand for a gay teen romance for kids? Was that something that parents were clamoring for? Oh man, I definitely need to show my 7-year-old two teenage boys wanting to mac on each other. That's definitely, I think, something that 5-year-olds need. Like, who's that crowd precisely? Where was the market demanding this sort of stuff? When you first start the movie, there's a warning screen that says what you're about to see is culturally insensitive and maybe sort of archaic and contains gender or race stereotype, like that kind of stuff. They're not taking it down, right? If we would offer to buy the rights off their hands, I highly doubt they would sell them to us. Yeah. I'd be perfectly willing to put up, Lady and the Tramp without a warning about stereotypical depictions of Italians or something. It's cutting off their nose to spite their face. This is one reason, among others, that they had a very, very rough couple of years here. And it's why they fired Bob Chapek and they brought back in Bob Iger. And they're kind of trying to figure out where they are. But the answer is that what parents want more than anything else is what they would have considered until 5 minutes ago an apolitical space for their kids. It's not that I want my kids to be watching stuff that's promoting right-wing messaging. I just don't want to put my kids in front of a TV and the next thing I know, my kid's asking me about gender fluidity. Yeah. I'm not interested in explaining to my 6-year-old son what gay marriage is. Like, that's just not something I'm interested in explaining to my 6-year-old son when he's 13, 14. I'm happy to explain to him what that is or why, in my viewpoint, same-sex marriages and traditional marriages are not equivalent. But at 6 years old, this is not when those conversations need to be happening. But according to a lot of people on the social left, that's precisely when the conversation should be happening, because we have to break free of the strictures of traditional morality and all the rest of this. I think Disney will keep making more Star Wars movies. Do you think some Old Republic movies would be better or sometime after these? If I were Disney, okay, so here's what they will do. What they will do is they will launch a whole series of movies with Rey and Finn and Poe and all the characters you've come to know and be lukewarm about. But what should they do? What they really should do is they should pretend none of this ever happened. They should pretend the prequels didn't happen. They should pretend the sequels didn't happen. They should recast Han, they should recast Luke, they should recast Leia, and they should pick up right where Return of the Jedi left off. That's what they actually should do, because those are the characters that you like, and they've already shown that they can recast Han. Like, Alden Ehrenreich did, I thought, a creditable job as Han Solo in the latest Solo movie, which I actually enjoyed. I think that what they should have done is just picked up afterward. They shouldn't do prequels for characters that they... The problem with Solo, the reason it didn't do well, is because, spoiler alert, in Force Awakens, they kill Han Solo in the worst, stupidest possible way, thereby destroying my childhood and making him a divorced loser dad murdered by his son.
Okay, it's a terrible, terrible way for Han Solo to go. Then they decide, you know what? Let's make a prequel about that guy. Well, why would I want to watch a prequel about a guy whose end I already know? That's ridiculous and silly. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, they're oriented toward the left. They actually don't think that these are controversial propositions, and they don't understand there's an entire swath of human beings who disagree with them in these arenas. I mean, they live in LA, they traffic in particular circles, and so they think to themselves, well, I'm not going to lose money because everyone agrees with me, and also I get to, quote unquote, do some good. And from their perspective, I get it, by pushing kids toward our particular political agenda. And so we can do that as well. So where's the downside? And so you saw top-level Disney executives talking openly about, I have a trans kid and a gender non-binary kid, and so I want to make sure that there's a place for them. And again, you can make that place, but that's not the place my kids are going to be watching material. Nor do I think, frankly, that is what most people who love Disney product, that is not what they bought in for. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Disney knows this. I think secretly deep down they know this, which is why, for example, they have all sorts of warning labels, they've put on all their movies now. If you go to Disney Plus, we subscribed to Disney Plus before all of this happened. Disney Plus on Aladdin, they have like a warning label at the beginning talking about how it's culturally insensitive. On Jungle Book, they have a warning saying it's culturally insensitive. Well, I didn't see you guys take it down. You're still making money off of it. You're happy to cash the check.
So you have to screen everything right now. That's why one of our goals here at Daily Wire Plus is we'll do the screening for you. We'll just make the content. And then you can trust, because we share your values, that we are not going to cram down all the values of the progressive left, the transgressive left on your kids. Disney has no such qualms. In fact, this is their goal. And they've openly stated this is not by accident. They're doing this because this is part of an agenda. If you choose to back that agenda, you're a parent, you can make that choice. But you should at least be informed of the agenda before you take your kids to see stuff like this. If this is the sort of stuff that you wish to teach to your kids, which is the idea that all sexual relationships are of the same moral stature, that all human relationships are equivalent in every available way, and that sexuality is entirely biological, except when it's not biological at all and is fluid. So if you wish to teach your kids that, by all means, take them to see Strange World. And if maybe you don't want to indoctrinate your kids in this crap, perhaps you should stop giving your money to Disney Plus.
Their last couple of movies have had explicit gay relationships in the movies.
Like
right? And
Lightyear,
directed it.
The Buzz Lightyear one?
The Lightyear film and Strange World.
Okay.
Also had one. They've in a lot of their programming, they've started to inject some more of that type of messaging with regard to gender fluidity, and they did this in some of the remakes also, like the Beauty and the Beast remake. Suddenly LeFou was gay, right? They're doing some of this stuff. I think because they're staffed by people who are on that side of the aisle, and that's their prerogative. But they're not in client service anymore. They're now more interested, I think, in pleasing a lot of their employee base. This is a broader corporate problem that we're seeing across the spectrum right now.